Beloved graduates, we come together today as community for one last time, blessed by the presence of God and surrounded by the love and support of family and friends. It is definitely a blessing to be here, to name and claim all that you have accomplished. It is also a blessing to move on from here, to graduate and to live into what you have learned and move that learning into the world. So here, now, completely filled with pride and gratitude for all that you've accomplished, let us enter into the fullness of this graduation ceremony, trusting that God is blessing every moment and readying you for the life that you will now live. Blessings upon you, class of 2026. You may be seated. The seniors of the choirs from here at Augustana College will now lead us, and by the mighty Mississippi, you're invited to sing along.
I hereby open the 166th Annual Commencement Convocation with thanks to the musicians, the members of the choirs who helped bring our minds and our hearts together, and of course the Augustana Symphonic Band, today led by Dr. James Lambrecht. And I want to say at the outset, I felt it when I came in here, this is a little bit more emotional day for me. This is my freshman class, and I'm sticking around, they're going, but it definitely feels different than it has for the other years. This is the group that I came in with, and we spent our first 4 years together. Thank you. So congratulations. This is an exciting and hard-earned day. Welcome to all the family and friends, faculty, staff, and trustees who have helped make this day possible in one way or in another, and to our speaker and his family. A commencement ceremony like this one stands out among all the human rituals for the way in which it both celebrates and anticipates change. To our soon-to-be graduates, we're here to celebrate and congratulate you for the many ways in which you have changed since you first came to Augustana. And we also look forward with profound hope and optimism about the changes in store for you now. So my topic today is really all about change and renewal. One of the most well-known renewals in history is the period we call the Renaissance, which occurred roughly from the middle of the 14th century to the middle of the 17th. It was a time of cultural, artistic, political, and economic rebirth. Europe had been stagnant for the previous centuries, falling behind many other parts of the world in intellectual and cultural development and trade. The Renaissance was a flowering of sorts, with some of the most influential artists, thinkers, and leaders of the Western world living during that period. The Renaissance was driven by a movement called humanism, an intellectual awakening rooted in the study of antiquity and the rediscovery of Greek and Roman culture and values. Humanism was really the birthplace of the liberal arts, which it viewed as important to the growth and health of civic society. Altogether, the Renaissance was a time of deep intellectual inquiry, commitment to art and science, technological development through such things as the printing press and international financial structures, and increasing connection through trade. Thought, culture, and goods move freely across the world, east to west and west to east. I refer to that time because some of the realities of our world today, swiftly developing technology, political division, and distrust of science, are calling us to remember some important parts of Renaissance thought. Our world is changing quickly in ways that feel unsettling and even perhaps dangerous. And at the same time, the value of the liberal arts has been criticized as unconnected to the quote-unquote real world, providing low return on investment and outdated in a technology-driven job market. Yet while public perception is low, employers consistently rate the intellectual habits of mind that the liberal arts teach as desirable and essential. A survey from the Association of American Colleges and Universities, first conducted in 2021 and repeated in 2025, found that employers view the knowledge and skills learned from a liberal arts education as critical to professional success. Why is that? At this moment, when the world feels chaotic and politicians, pundits, and the media question the value of education, why is it that the liberal arts are so essential? The answer is simple, and I think best provided by one of the great thinkers of the Renaissance, René Descartes, who said, quote, "If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things." Doubt is the wellspring of discovery, and at Augustana you have learned to model Descartes' seeker of truth. You have doubted, sometimes yourself, at all times the answers you are given, and you have demanded further inquiry. The world needs your leadership now in doubting all things. For just as was true in the Renaissance, doubt will bring innovation. For you, the class of 2026, innovation is no longer a buzzword for invention or a description of a great disruption to a specific industry. Rather, innovation is the baseline expectation for how you will engage with the world. You will succeed precisely because of your ability to adapt, change, adjust, and foresee. And what you will succeed in doing is what we might call micro-innovation, envisioning how to improve a process or community, work with technology, collaborate with others in any setting, or create a new way of thinking about something well-known. Innovation is not just about launching a rocket. It is about untangling everyday frictions and improving what's around you. One of the collaborators you will have in this effort is artificial intelligence. Generative AI and automation are omnipresent in our lives, from our workplace to our leisure. Knowing how to use AI is not sufficient. To be successful in this world, you need to know how to direct it. For now, at least, you are the brains and the driver. You think, AI compiles. Only you will know your purpose, even as you rely on AI to help you provide your path. Agility and adaptability will also be necessary, because change is no longer a temporary condition, but a lasting and defining feature of the world we live in today. You will succeed by learning, unlearning, and relearning quickly. The world of 2026 doesn't expect you to have all the answers, but it will expect you to know what questions to ask when the rules change tomorrow. Fortunately, you are well prepared for this world, for the core tenets of a liberal arts education are exactly what fuel the micro-innovation mindset. Let me remind you how. Your Augustana education has taught you synthesis over silos. Innovation rarely comes from inventing something out of thin air, but from connecting two previously unrelated dots. You are trained to link frameworks across disciplines and bring different structures of thought to a challenge. Bring that confidence to your next endeavor and be the leader who says, what if? What if we organize this differently? What if we consider an alternative perspective? Augustana has also taught you to ask the why behind the how. Technology can tell us how to do almost anything. Fix a dishwasher, install new cabinets, groom a dog, build a bomb. But technology never asks why we're doing it in the first place. When you're fixing your dishwasher, that's probably okay, you know. But when developing a complex initiative or seeking to advance a community, it's probably not. At Augustana, you have also learned to challenge assumptions and look for root causes rather than symptoms. You will be the leaders who start not with asking how to improve a process, but asking why it exists. And when you ask, you know how to listen to and integrate alternative viewpoints rather than fear them. Finally, you are comfortable with uncertainty. There's no instruction manual for navigating an entirely new technology paradigm or political upheaval. And to that you say, no problem. The liberal arts are built on ambiguity. Every answer you find raises more questions. That probably drove you crazy in your classes, but it will serve you well for the rest of your life. So as the rules of the game shift around you, you will not panic. You're used to navigating gray areas, weighing different ethical frameworks, and making informed decisions even when you don't have all the information. So as you leave this campus, remember that you are the leaders the world will lean on. And though we live in an age where people express great certainty on topics, whether informed or not, never be afraid to express doubt. In the words of Ibn Khaldun, 14th century Tunisian philosopher, quote, "He who finds a new path is a pathfinder, even if the trail has to be found again by others. And he who walks far ahead of his contemporaries is a leader, even though centuries pass before he is recognized as such." Class of 2026, find new paths and walk out front. Godspeed. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our student speaker, who is a geology and political science double major from Milan, Italy. He was also in my class this semester, so I know a thing or two about his qualities. Representing the class of 2026, please welcome Niccolo Benvenuto.
Now, don't you get too excited. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to thank President Talentino for allowing me to give this speech, choosing me out of everyone. I'm still wondering why. But I also gotta say that she put me in a little bit of a tough spot today. It's not easy as a college student to give a speech or a meaningful speech right after the college president herself and a literal NFL MVP. So over the past month, I kept trying to think about something unique I could bring to this stage until I realized that as the commencement speaker, the student commencement speaker, I'm the only one who knows how it truly feels to be graduating in the year 2026. Graduating at a time when technology is becoming a substitute for our thinking, where AI is taking over the job market, and more people are questioning the value of higher education. Is spending 4 years and tens of thousands of dollars for a college degree still worth it in the year 2026? At Augie, we like to ask our seniors if the college experience was more than they imagined. Well, I think there's no better moment more than today to ask ourselves, each of us students, did Augie give me more than I imagined? Let me share a personal story first. If you walk outside of this arena, there is a road called River Drive. You walked on it to get in here today. If you did not, then I have no idea how you got in here today. Well, 3 years ago, I drove 12 hours from Denver, Colorado. I took the I-74 exit on that same River Drive, and that was my first time in my life in the Quad Cities. I did not know anyone. I followed the road down to Rock Island, saw the pedestrian bridge by Sorensen Hall with the banner that says Augustana College. I knew this place was gonna become my home for the next 4 years, even though I didn't know anyone, and even though it turned out to be only 3 years. But home sweet home it became. To come here today, some of us had to stack their belongings in the back seats of their cars, just like me. Others had to pack their whole lives in 2 suitcases and fly from another continent. And probably most of us were dropped off by their parents, and perhaps they had to say goodbye to their family for the first time. We all come from different backgrounds at Augustana, but we came here with little control on what was going to happen and a lot of uncertainty and doubt. Well, fellow student, aren't those the same emotions we're facing today? But the fact you're here today in this arena, it means we took a leap of faith, and it turned out to be probably one of the greatest decisions in our lives. Well, that's the magic of higher education. College constantly places us in unfamiliar situations. It teaches us to adapt, to rethink, to fail, to recover, and to walk into uncertainty with confidence. More so, our liberal arts education stands on 9 pillars, the learning outcomes. There are things like ethical citizenship and intellectual curiosity. It turns out that these 9 pillars are listed on every syllabus. I skip reading through those every single time. I was focusing more on the majors and the minors. Augustana has 100 majors, 1 for every 5 graduates. But in the year 2026, anything written in a textbook can be found with 1 Google search. Well, maybe the real game changer isn't the information we memorized, but the soft skills we earned. And at some point, even me myself, as a geologist and political scientist, I'm not scared to admit that I realized that critical thinking was probably more important than critical minerals. And interpersonal communication comes before international relations. Well, now I'd like to turn the attention to all of you up there, our parents, our siblings, our family, and our friends. Even if you believe in the value of higher education, you still have thousands of schools to choose from across the country. So let me tell you from a student's perspective why Augustana is so special. I spent time reading the seniors' reflections, trying to find one strength that was commonly agreed upon. To my surprise, not many of us mentioned the flights of stairs to get to class, or the lack of snow days since we're a residential college. Shocking, I know. What most people said was the people sitting here in the first couple rows, the faculty of Augustana College. Our professors hold masters and PhDs. They do research all across the world, from tropical islands to stunning mountains and medieval cities. But every single time, they choose to come back to teach at a liberal arts school in Rock Island, Illinois. I'm pretty adventurous myself, and I always wondered why. Well, I think the answer lies in one word: passion. The passion to work towards the greater good, the passion to engage in a small community, and the passion to shape young people's lives, and sometimes even babysit young adults like us. Augustana is a place where professors not only know our first and last names, something that's not even guaranteed anymore at other schools, but they also know our dreams and desires. They supported us in achieving those goals. They made us feel like people and not just LinkedIn profiles. And they taught us how to become adults in the last 4 years. This is the environment that it's created at Augustana College. And this is why I'm leaving with no regrets about my school choice. Let me conclude with a couple final remarks. First, to my fellow students, one of the first things we learned in college was to cite only authoritative sources. So for today, I chose Winnie the Pooh. Winnie once said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." If today, or in the last couple weeks, even in the last couple months, you ever felt sad, whether you want to admit it or not, it means that you're leaving Augustana with more than just a degree on a piece of paper. And that is something beautiful that you should cherish. Yes, the world we enter today is uncertain, but Augustana taught us that uncertainty is not something to fear. It's where growth begins. And to the faculty, administration, staff, families, and loved ones, on behalf of the class of 2026, yes, Augustana, you gave us more than we imagined. Go Vikings, God bless you.
Thank you, Nico. And now, to introduce the commencement speaker, I call upon Michael Zapolsky, Director of Athletics, to come to the podium.
Class of 2026, President Talentino, families, friends, faculty, and staff. My name is Mike Zapolsky, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to introduce the speaker for this 166th commencement convocation of Augustana College. I serve as the Director of Athletics at Augustana, and as a result, I spend a lot of my time at the Roy J. Carver Physical Education Center. A quick visit to the Carver Center will offer plenty of evidence for that old saying, records are made to be broken. All around the walls of that home to Augustana Athletics, you will find evidence of great achievements that have faded over the years, only because of the brightness of new records posted by still more talented, committed Augustana student athletes. But if you check the records of Augustana football, which date back to 1893, you will still find the name of Ken Anderson listed more than a half a century after he graduated. Ranked number 1 in total offensive yards, passing yards, and total touchdowns. He's still ranked in the top 10 of several other categories, and even ranks number 14 on the all-time list of field goals made because, of course, Kenny was the place kicker as well as the quarterback for the Augustana Vikings from 1967 to 1970. When Ken retired from the Cincinnati Bengals in 1986, he held 4 NFL single-season passing rating titles, was the top finisher 3 times in completion percentage. He held 2 passing yard titles and was tabbed the league's most valuable player in 1981. Even more remarkably, today, 40 years after retiring, Ken Anderson still ranks number 7 all-time for postseason passing accuracy. In other words, he got the job done when the most was at stake. But of greatest importance at a school like this one is the fact that of the 188 academic All-American honorees in Augustana's history, Ken Anderson was the very first in 1970. And that accomplishment, even more than anything else that I have mentioned, is why his name is on the Ken Anderson Academic All-American Club at Augustana College. Graduates, colleagues, family, and friends, please join me in welcoming back to his alma mater, Mr. Ken Anderson.
Well, thank you. I have a lot of pages here, but please don't be nervous. It's just that the print is big enough I can read it without my glasses. You know, I'm very nervous today. Normally when I speak, I tell stories about my career, about football life. I don't really need a script, and today I'm trying to say something meaningful, which is very unusual for me, so please bear with me. President Talentino, members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, dedicated staff, and proud family and friends, most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2026. Thank you for the warm reception. As Mike said, it's been 40 years since I retired as a player in the National Football League. The draft in those days was in January. There was no ESPN to televise it, so you read about it in the paper the next day. So when Cincinnati people woke up the next morning and saw that the Bengals had drafted in the 3rd round a quarterback from Augustana College, kind of wondered who this guy was. Well, when I went to Cincinnati, the Bengals sent me out to speak to a local group. The MC got up and he started off by saying, "They say this young man needs no introduction," and I certainly hope so because I've never heard of him before. Well, hopefully you have some idea who I am, because Augustana is still very important to me. Also, today is very meaningful for me. I didn't get to graduate with my class. I dropped out of school after the fall quarter my senior year to do my basic training for the National Guard to get ready for my pro football career. Although I came back to school 2 years later and received my degree, I never got to experience this. So thank you for inviting me to speak, for letting me share some thoughts with you today. Augustana is not just where I went to college, it's where I learned how to work, how to lead, how to deal with adversity, how to grow and handle success without being defined by it. You may not realize it now, but Augustana may leave you. You may leave Augustana, but Augustana will never leave you. You've got a lot of things going on right now. New job, maybe graduate school, possibly even the military. So you may soon find yourself in new cities with new challenges. As you start down this road, remember, character outlasts achievement. You'll be remembered for whether you were fair, whether you were honest, whether you showed humility in success and grace in failure. As I look back, I realize Augustana didn't just prepare me for a career, it helped shape my values. It emphasized service, integrity, responsibility to others. Graduates, you're entering a world that needs leaders of character, people who do the right thing when no one's watching, people who have integrity over convenience, and people of purpose over popularity. Be that person. Leadership doesn't start when someone gives you a title. It starts when you take responsibility regardless of position. Some of the best leaders I ever played and coached with were not the loudest voices in the room. They showed up early, they worked hard, and they treated everyone with respect. Augustana has taught you that true and effective leadership is service. It's up to you to turn that learning into service for others. You'll have opportunities to lead in your workplace, your family, your community. When that happens, remember, leadership is not about being in charge, It's about being accountable to yourself and to others. Success is rarely in a straight line. At times, the path ahead won't be smooth. You'll face rejection and disappointment, and you may have moments when you question whether you even belong in the room. I've had those moments too, lots of them. In football, and especially in this fast-paced world, most everybody only saw highlights. They don't see the interceptions, the losses, the injuries, the long nights going over the mistakes you made in their head. But failure is not a dead end. Failure is feedback. Every setback taught me something. It taught me about preparation, about resilience, and especially about humility. I had a lot of success early in my career. My second year as a starter, we went to the playoffs. The following year, I won my first passing title. In 1975, we went back to the playoffs. I won my second passing title, and the Bengals. I also went to my first Pro Bowl that year. But in 1979, things started to go downhill. I had some injuries. They drafted my replacement in the first round of the draft. We had a losing record. It was the worst Bengals team I was ever on, and they fired the coach. A lot of people thought my career was just about over. The next year, I had some injuries. We didn't win a lot of games that year, and a lot of people thought the following year my backup was going to be the starting quarterback. Well, in 1981, I was booed in every preseason game. When the season started, I thought I had to be perfect, and I wasn't. I threw 3 interceptions in the season opener in the first quarter. I got benched. The backup came in and brought our team back for a victory. The crowd cheered. They thought I was done. I did a lot of soul searching the next week. Thought a lot about where I came from and what this means to me. Well, the coach asked me finally what I wanted to do. I said, I want to start. Well, that's when it comes down to the resilience I was just talking about. That year, we went to the playoffs. We went to the Bengals' first Super Bowl, and I was MVP of the National Football League. Augustana's prepared you for tough times. You've already faced tough exams, difficult conversations, time management struggles, and moments when you feel like quitting was easier than continuing. But you didn't quit. You adapted, you learned, you stayed the course. That's Augustana in you. And of course, you learned that no one succeeds alone. I played quarterback, and a lot of people thought I did it by myself. I didn't need any help. Well, that was the furthest thing from the truth. Every success I had was built on teammates, coaches, members, mentors, family members, and friends who believed in me sometimes when I doubted myself. Most of the sentences that define success begin with we, not I. Members of the class of 2026, look around you today. Behind every one of you is a network of support. Parents, grandparents, siblings, professors, coaches, advisors, and friends who made sacrifices so you could be here today. One of the greatest lessons the Augustana family teaches you is gratitude. As you move forward, remember that your success will always be connected to others. And for that, be grateful and let those people know you appreciate them. Graduates, you're about to leave this campus, but you're also becoming ambassadors of it. How you live, how you lead, how you treat others will reflect where you come from. One day, sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize just how much this place shaped you. When that happens, I hope you do a couple of things. First, stay connected, stay grateful. Remember professors who challenged you and friends who walked alongside you. And second, reach back and mentor someone who reminds you of yourself, uncertain, hopeful, and full of potential. Remember, you may leave Augustana, but Augustana does not leave you. After I retired, my wife Christy and I started a foundation for adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. We wanted to help make a difference in the life of our nephew who was severely autistic. Our mission was to empower adults with disabilities to thrive in the community. With our adult day services, which focuses on arts and crafts and music therapy, our engage outings, where we go out into the community in groups, whether it's in the day or in the evening, out to dinner or lunch, to play putt-putt, go to a movie, walk in a park, volunteering at other nonprofits. We also do job training and job placement, and I'm proud to say that we service over 300 adults a month. Augustana is still in me, and I'm happy to share what I've learned with others. If there's one thing I could predict, predict about your future is that you'll have some surprises along the way. I came to Augustana to become a high school math teacher and coach. I wanted to play a little basketball and baseball along the way. It was my high school football coach, Bill Day, who talked me into trying out for the football team. So I wrote Coach Sterenko a letter, said I was an all-conference safety. Well, I ended up the starting quarterback by the third game of the year, and kind of the rest is history. But who would have thought that I would end up addressing the class of 2026? I'm here filled with appreciation for my Augustana experience and filled with the wonder of who you'll become in the years ahead. I encourage you, dare to dream. I'll end this with a short story. In the fall of 2010, I came back to campus after I retired. I hadn't been back very much. When you're a coach and a player, you don't get a whole lot of time off. But I was walking around campus, and I toured the football stadium again. Nothing had really been done in the 40 years since I had been there. In fact, nothing had really been done since World War II. My good friend Dave Marco and I were having a beer in his backyard that evening, and we decided, let's see if we can't find a way to build a new stadium. Well, it took a lot of years, a lot of meetings, and the generosity of the Austin E. Knowlton Foundation, we finally made it happen. The Charles Lindbergh Stadium and the Ken Anderson Academic All-American Club. When then President Balls called me to say they wanted to name the academic club after me, since I was their first academic All-American, I said, President Balls, I'm deeply honored, but if my name's on the door, we're going to serve beer. He went to the Board of Trustees and said, Kenny said, if we don't serve beer in the Academic All-American Club, we lose the money for the stadium. We serve beer in the Academic All-American Club. Every fall since 2010, I've returned to campus for a football game. I invite you graduates, when you come back, please stop in, say hello, tell me you were a member of the class of 2026, the class that invited me to be part of my first graduation ceremony. Congratulations, graduates. Go out and make a difference in the world. We need you. And remember, you may leave Augustana, but Augustana never leaves you. Thank you.
President Talentino, I am pleased to nominate Ken Anderson, member of the Augustana College class of 1971, as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, from Augustana College. Mr. Anderson holds the distinction of being the first academic All-America athlete in Augustana's history, leading a list that now places this institution 14th among all schools in all NCAA divisions in its number of honorees. His storied career in the National Football League introduced countless thousands of people to Augustana College, and one can only guess how many viewers of Monday Night Football heard legendary announcer Howard Cosell unfailingly refer to him as Kenny Anderson from tiny Augustana College. While still playing professional football, Ken completed his law degree at Northern Kentucky University. He passed the bar exam in 1982. The same year, he set a Super Bowl record with a pass completion percentage of 73.5% in that game. In 2014, he helped establish the Ken Anderson Alliance, an organization that works to improve the quality of life for adults with disabilities. It was formed to address a lack of services for individuals with disabilities and was inspired by the journey of Anderson's nephew, Drew. For Ken's achievements, for his record of service, for his advocacy on behalf of vulnerable persons, and for his stalwart support of his alma mater, I present Ken Anderson for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Augustana College, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Kenny Anderson.
Thank you so much. You don't know how much you do.
I had no idea until we were standing in the line waiting to come in here that Kenny had never attended a graduation service, so it's extra special. I now invite Provost Diana Shandy to come forward to recognize those members of the faculty present today who are retiring.
Faculty, please stand. Roman P. Bonzen. John R. Herty. Sonia P. Herty. Diane C. Mueller. Nirmala S. Salgado. Thank you for your years of dedicated service.
And please let me add my thanks as well on behalf of the students, alumni, and trustees of Augustana College. Thank you for your extraordinary careers and all they have meant to our students' growth in mind, spirit, and body. There's probably no better testimony than we could have had in Nico's speech today, talking about how the faculty are the essence of what makes Augustana College so special. Thank you. All right, now we come to the most important part. Provost Shandy will now present the Augustana class of 2026 candidates for the baccalaureate degree.
Will the Augustana College class of 2026 please rise? Madam President, on behalf of the faculty, I wish to recommend the conferring of the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science on these candidates upon completion of the requirements.
Of the faculty, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Illinois and the Board of Trustees, and subject to your completion of the requirements, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science with all the privileges, rights, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Will the members of the class of 2026 please present themselves as their names are called?
You can be seated. Sean Lawrence Abracia Wendell, magna cum laude. Benjamin Frank Adams. Mark Daniel Addison, summa cum laude. Dia Adhikari. Susmita Adhikari, magna cum laude. Donna Juniel Ajahuang Beta, cum laude. Claire Lynn Adolfson, cum laude. Mezabin Ahmed, summa cum laude. Leah Solomon Alamlai Ayu, summa cum laude. Nathan Thomas Almeida, magna cum laude. Marley Osaratin Alui. Michael Alvarado. Hannah Celeste Alvarez. Kofi Amo Antwi. Yanis Anastasiadis. Samaria Anderson. Kwadjo Owusu Ansa. Alexander J. Artisana, summa cum laude. Amy Achtayaga. Udbav Ariel. Zacharias Solomon Asamino, magna cum laude. Arturo Asensio Moreno. Naod Asfa. Braden Cole Atkinson. Benjamin Carl Amuller. Ryan Samuel Bacorn, summa cum laude. Moira Elizabeth Baggett. Amani Baida. Adrian Nicholas Balcazar. Curtis John Baldwin, magna cum laude. Robin Tro Balian. Oscar Jonathan Bannister, cum laude. Mecca Bantu, cum laude. Ilyas Badr Barudi. Rachel Ann Barry, magna cum laude. Elena Marie Bouchard Wolf, cum laude. Zachary Jacob Beckman, cum laude. Paige A. Beggs. Marley Page Beam. Sophia Grace Benke, summa cum laude. Absala Fitsum Bekele, magna cum laude. Yasin Benesa. Wissam Benergribi. Nicola Benvenuto, summa cum laude. Samayawit Bayene, cum laude. Audrey Grace Bezella, cum laude. Dristant Bandari, cum laude. John Roderick Bigler, cum laude. Joshua Harrison Bohr, cum laude. Mohammed Bokami. Aiden Christopher Bolin, summa cum laude. Rory Daniel Borger Johnson. Manuel Thomas Borges IV. Alexandra Boatsul, summa cum laude. Ryan Burab. Anwar Buhadu. Mohammed Burbita. Hayden Anders Boschel, summa cum laude. Ashley Bowser, magna cum laude. Charlotte Nineva Boyer, cum laude. Fiona Shea Brady, cum laude. Regina K. Brisboy, cum laude. Ellen Elizabeth Brudd. Clara Catherine Brown. Andrew Wayne Bryant, summa cum laude. Allison N. Buchanan, cum laude. Abigail Keeley Beakley. Tanner Joseph Buell. Levi Thomas Burke, cum laude. Dylan M. Burton. Colin Andrew Bush. Lily Elizabeth Byers, cum laude. Rachel Nancy Byrne, cum laude. Marlene Kabada, magna cum laude. Annabella Lynn Cabrera. Dalia Ruby Calderon Medina. Victoria Grace Campbell, magna cum laude. Sergio Cano Minguet. Charlize Alize Cardenas, cum laude. Grant Arthur Karkner, magna cum laude. Sean Thomas Carlson. Natalia Carrillo Mansara. Chance David Carruthers. Cesar Augusto Castillo Mateos. Maximilian Robert Castle. Diego Catalan Castrejón. Kaylin Elizabeth Catalani, summa cum laude. Carter Matthew Cholberg. Priyanjana Chaudhry. Hamna Babar Chaudhry, cum laude. Abigail Catherine Clapper, cum laude. Brianna Clark. Elisa Lynn Clark. Lucas Donald Clayton, magna cum laude. Hannah Lynn Colbert, summa cum laude. Mallory Coley. Jada McKenna Collins. Kari May Conklin. Fiona Rochelle Connolly, magna cum laude. Josephine Cooley, summa cum laude. Ava Lucille Cousins, magna cum laude. Allison Marissa Cox. Samantha T. Kozad. Dash Crow. Ricardo de Casa, cum laude. Luke Andrew Dalzell, magna cum laude. Grace Colleen Danick, cum laude. Tin Dang, cum laude. Andrew Dardis, magna cum laude. Betania Getarun Darge, cum laude. Jordan Mercedes Darrell, cum laude. Anna Emile Davison. Maxwell Adam Dubuis. Ellie DeFarno, cum laude. Eric DeBicki. Emily Nicole Decker, cum laude. Callista Linnea DeCoster, cum laude. Nicolas Delgado Rodriguez, magna cum laude. Emmanuel Antene de Misi. Marie Ray DePau. Diana Detloff, magna cum laude. Dylan J. Detloff. Alistair Dick Vercommon. Charles Wesley DiUlio. Hung Zhang Do, cum laude. Quincy Duan, magna cum laude. Mitchell Edward Dolenchuk, magna cum laude. Wyatt Richard Dosick. Maya L. Dawes, cum laude. Andrew Michael Doty, summa cum laude. Lauren Marie Durst. Sean David Eggers II. Noah Ellenbach, cum laude. Isabel Ehrlich, summa cum laude. Jack Dolan Lassiter Ellis. Zainam El Onk. Ian Max Empen, summa cum laude. Zachary Emmerich Muse. Lily Jane Erickson. Ariadna Adelaide Escobar. Jorge Andre Vega Escobedo. Emma Christine Evans, cum laude. Emanuela Fagla, magna cum laude. Noah Farwell, cum laude. Georgie Mary Fagley, summa cum laude. Kendall Ray Filanowitz. Brian Thomas Fisher, cum laude. Lucille Yuka Fitzgibbon, cum laude. Caden Fleming, magna cum laude. Ashley Sarari Fonseca. Thomas John Fornelli. Giovanna Amory Foster, cum laude. Isabella Grace Fraley. Charlotte Lisette Frere, summa cum laude. Grace Marie Feckman, summa cum laude. Phoebe Lynn Fuller. Ethan Richard Gabries, magna cum laude. Emily Lynn Gadd, summa cum laude. Adam Robert Gallagher. Suli Gallardo. Mitchell Monroe Gallion, summa cum laude. Leslie Yvette Gomez, cum laude. Marcela Garcia Martinez, cum laude. Michael John Garland, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Anna Garrigan, cum laude. Madeline Garrigan, summa cum laude. Jaron David Garza. Sophia Garza. Catherine Elizabeth Gass, summa cum laude. Natasha Louise Garkey, cum laude. Joseph Thomas Gueron. Leroy Gawu Mensa, magna cum laude. Shakira Austin Baino, cum laude. Aser Samuel Gebramoriam. Hannah Negasi Gebramariam. Jerusalem Mateos Gebramedhin, magna cum laude. Ekla Fisa Gabriselasi, summa cum laude. Abigail Mackenzie Gentry. Tristan Riley Gerber, cum laude. Caitlin Jean Glusick, summa cum laude. Daniel Sean Gluskin. Benjamin William Gonzalez. Christian Miguel Gonzalez. Darius Jamal Graves, cum laude. Connor Green. Madison Lynn Greenwood, cum laude. Brianna Christine Greiner, cum laude. Isabel Evelyn Grimes, magna cum laude. Thomas Ray Gruber, cum laude. Skylar Grace Guarini, magna cum laude. Zachary Paul Gulickson. Sonam Gurung, cum laude. Anoshka Gurung. Grace Catherine Gustafson, summa cum laude. Ryan Leonard Gustafson, magna cum laude. Stephanie Gutierrez Reyes, magna cum laude. Mimi Marie Giftakos. Brennan Carl Hake, summa cum laude. Hiba Haddad. Hamdia Mohammed Hamidu, cum laude. Aiden Eric Michael Hancock, cum laude. Jonathan Peter Hansen, cum laude. Madeline Jade Harned, summa cum laude. Benjamin William Hartman. Caleb Joseph Haas. Raina Hells, summa cum laude. Nathan Matthew Henry. Aiden Heyman. Adeline Giselle Hernandez. Jackson Lee Hicks, summa cum laude. Daisy Sierra Heyer, magna cum laude. Traden Cheyenne Heyer, summa cum laude. Sarah Christine Hill. Kayla Marie Hobbs. Monique Hoff, magna cum laude. Paige Watkins Hoffman. Nicholas James Hogan. Brett Michael Holcomb. Georgia K. Holt. Grace O'Neill Hopkins. Emily Claire Hoskins, cum laude. Dorinda Merveille Hoisu, cum laude. Mary Kathleen Ray Hughes. Sylvia Carolyn Hughes, summa cum laude. Nolan Edward Hewlett. Josiah Dorian Hull, cum laude. Graham Robert Hunt, summa cum laude. Madeline Grace Hutchinson, summa cum laude. Declan Luke Hutton, cum laude. Nauto Ikado, summa cum laude. Ava Principia Jackson, magna cum laude. Tiana LaShawn Jackson, cum laude. Tomas Jimenez Mefren Mamarbushi, magna cum laude. Alexis May Johnson, cum laude. Noah Edward Johnson. Olivia Lene Jones, magna cum laude. Grayson Jewel, magna cum laude. Tongil Devine Kalomba, cum laude. Constantina Kariotis, cum laude. Emmy Karki. Nabindra Karki. Catherine Jeanette Karn, magna cum laude. Logan Ryan Kearns, summa cum laude. Moti Debeli Gebesa, magna cum laude. John David Keller V. Michaela May Kelly, cum laude. Samantha Lynn Kern. Samir Mohammed Khan. Asta Karel. Samira Renee Kobdi, summa cum laude. Solyana Ainalim. Abigail Marie Kimber. Mary Louise King, summa cum laude. Karen Quinto Ombres. Aiden Nathaniel Suk Kane, magna cum laude. Lauren Emilia Coster. Catherine Elizabeth Cusera, cum laude. Hind Lakhdar. Thomas Joseph Lamb. Madison Adriana Langwish. Remington Andrew Larson. Mackenzie Nicole Lauridson, summa cum laude. Amanda Grace Lawrence, summa cum laude. Emerson Ann Lehman. Salam Mengistu Lema, summa cum laude. Allison Rose Lesher, magna cum laude. Tyler Leslie, cum laude. Alexandra Christine Lewis, cum laude. McKenna Lewis, summa cum laude. Caden Richard Liebscher, cum laude. Alexandra Julianne Locke, magna cum laude. Abigail Joy Loven, cum laude. Patrick Ryan Lower, magna cum laude. Caden M. Luden. Benjamin Paul Ludlam, magna cum laude. Uvi Viet Lung. Leah May Mack, summa cum laude. Sophia Elaine Magalhães, cum laude. Reda Mahbub. Abigail Catherine Melina. Pritisha Mala. Ian Thomas Malloy. Christian William Mamoser. Carl Leon Mong, cum laude. Ricardo Marcelino. Leonardo Enrique Marin Urbina. Sarah Elizabeth Mars, cum laude. Rhiannon Sky Marshall. Paloma Martinez Palomares, cum laude. Marcos Rafael Martinez. Claire Renee Martino, summa cum laude. Alyssa Carolyn Marzarati, cum laude. Alyssa Matkowicz. Peyton Jacob Matley, cum laude. Natalie Ruth Maxon, magna cum laude. Colin Benjamin May. Henry Mayanja, cum laude. Caden Patrick McCann. Caroline McCauley, cum laude. Hannah Louise McCoon. Saida Vania Mehdi Rizvi. Reina Mehta. Kaylee Elizabeth Melton, summa cum laude. Artur Delay Mendez, summa cum laude. Alexia Margarita Mendoza. Jersey Mary Merrick. Margaret May Myers, summa cum laude. Caden Andrew Miklos. Jake Matthew Miller. Elizabeth Lee Mirales, cum laude. Destiny Missel. Azaria Tedros Mola. Jack Ross Moore. Jacob Patrick Moore. Kirsten Grace Moraitis. Abigail Morales. Jocelyn Moreno. Leslie Moreno. Mason Morel. Elena Elizabeth Muller, magna cum laude. Eliseo Manuel Munoz. Kaisa Marie Murphy, cum laude. Awish Ali Naz. Yuma Ndai, magna cum laude. Morgan Grace Nelson, cum laude. Blake Nettleton, cum laude. Ming Nguyen, summa cum laude. Riley Cerise Nowak, magna cum laude. Madison Lilia Noon, cum laude. Favor Patrick Noya, magna cum laude. Connor James O'Boyle. Brock Omasic, cum laude. Alyssa Ann O'Grodney, magna cum laude. Yulin Okai. Maya Okasha, summa cum laude. Jack Ryan Olson. Samantha Nicole Olson. Lily Anna Michael Overa. Darren Joseph Oregon. Marley Kellen Orris, magna cum laude. John Manuel Orozco Jr. Nisrain Winexi. Madeline Marie Overstreet, cum laude. Isaac Omar Pacheco Castellon. Maya Rose Pagel. Sumbriti Pandey, magna cum laude. Kali Anastasia Pepas, summa cum laude. Sui Tin Par. Olivia Park, summa cum laude. Olivia Ann Perry, cum laude. Ayuj Podell, cum laude. Haley Ann Peterson. Eddie Pedrode Salinas. Alice Pelamwan, magna cum laude. Lucia Marie Pelletier. Monica Perez, cum laude. Isabella Sky Perkins. Cheyenne Lynette Peters, cum laude. Veronica Irene Peterson. Isabella Malena Pizarro. Natalie E. Platt. Ariaman Pradhan, cum laude. Trevor Putman. Mademoiselle Quartiocor Quarte, magna cum laude. Jeanette Radati. Jasmine Saria Ramirez. Aaron Peter Randolph IV. Alyssa Rapaz, cum laude. Stephen Rasick, cum laude. Kazi Uzir Razin, summa cum laude. John David Rita. Caden Joseph Rednauer. Jack Patrick Rihanna. Zachary Charles Renner, magna cum laude. Eduardo Resendez III, magna cum laude. Carter Benjamin Reynolds, cum laude. Alexis Richards. Reese Jordan Richmond. Sora Julia Pro Richter. Bethany May Ricketts. Ronak Rizal. Jemiah Dejana Pearl Amanda Ariel Riley, cum laude. Brianna Renee Rios. Chloe Frances Rittenhouse, summa cum laude. Leah Rizzo. Allison Danielle Ressler, magna cum laude. Paige Lynn Rogdi, summa cum laude. Aaron David Rogers, cum laude. Danielle Romero Rueda, cum laude. Colin James Roke. William Daniel Routh, summa cum laude. George Melvin Rucker V. Elizabeth Regina Louise Ruggiero. Kristen Adele Rundle. Genevieve Ryan, summa cum laude. Kumail Saeed. Nicholas Reed Sacalario. Eliza Salinas Cervantes, cum laude. Alex Sanchez. Morelia Sanchez Oosco. Ronish Sangatsier, cum laude. Zachary Shear, cum laude. Jordan Keith Schenkloff. Olivia Grace Schrader. Logan Joseph Schultz, magna cum laude. Adam Safar. Alexander Jean Sell, summa cum laude. Alexandra Grace Seaton, magna cum laude. Vivian Irene Sewell, cum laude. Cerise Kumar Sa. Rahel Shibeshi, cum laude. Sydney Amber Shields, summa cum laude. Olivia Renee Scholl, magna cum laude. Shreza Shrestha. Sundeep Shrestha, cum laude. Zain Shrestha, cum laude. Maitreyi Srikonde, magna cum laude. Audrey Siblick, cum laude. Cohen August Sievert. Krisha Silwal, summa cum laude. Nathan Simon. Nathan Gizacho Sizai. Freya E. Score. Lillian Rose Slater, magna cum laude. Abby Catherine Smith. Braden Dallas Smith, cum laude. Callista Smith. Maya Joy Smith. Angela Grace Mudzinski. Dmitry Solarovich. Abigail Grace Soper. Ethan James Sosnowski. Toby John Split. Natalie Claire Stanfield, magna cum laude. Jacob Jude Stefanovitz, magna cum laude. Michael Paul Steinbecker III. Aaron Thomas Lucas Stewart. Jordan Rebecca Alexis Stewart. John Ogden Dalrymple Stofferon, summa cum laude. Carly Angeline Stone. Tyrone T.Y. Stone. Congratulations. Drake M. Stout. Elena Yvonne Stroh, magna cum laude. Hannah Saboni Kaufman. Casey Marie Swanson, summa cum laude. Alice Sylvie, magna cum laude. Tomas Akiyoshi Takeda. Pema Chodol Tamang. Yeabsara Maru Tamiri, cum laude. Cadence Nicole Tatum. Avery Brianna Taylor. Lydia Chanyalau Tefera, cum laude. Lucas William Tang. Aiden P. Terry, cum laude. Heron Mesvin Tesfa. Perthap Thakur. Rom Lian Thang. Norika Singh Thapa. Sarah Thule. Holland Ashley Timmerman, magna cum laude. Adeline Titzel, cum laude. Crystal Torres. Jimena Ariela Torres El Cantu, summa cum laude. Huang Huin Ming Tru, magna cum laude. Caitlin Quinn Troja, cum laude. Angela Trulson, summa cum laude. Kades Dawit Sige, cum laude. Miranda Nicole Taida, magna cum laude. Carrie Anna Christina Uttenberg. Carly Udovich. Xander Lee Ulum, magna cum laude. Veronica Irene Urek, summa cum laude. Gabriela Jolyn Valdez. Jordan Christine Van Santen, summa cum laude. Emma Grace Vanderwall, magna cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Leinani Vaughn. Leila Victoria Velasquez. Sophia Ray Versluis, magna cum laude. Maya Lou Veal, magna cum laude. Adriana Villalpando. Jonathan Wana Waki. Kimberly Waldschmidt, summa cum laude. Adeline Yvonne Walker, summa cum laude. Jamila Josephine Wallace. Timothy Robert Wallace, cum laude. Sarah Joy Welker, cum laude. Joran Joestar Weller Van Hollebeck. Magnus Michael Wells, summa cum laude. Ethan Christopher Wheeler. Mackenzie Elizabeth Whitlock, cum laude. Kaylee Sue Wilkins. Xander Lars Williams. Ian Langston Williams. Renee Williams. Zion Darrell Williams. Kania LaShawn Wilson. Alex Wiltberger Cruz. Lexi Leanne Woodcock, summa cum laude. Olive Elsie Woodsmall. William Ronde Whirls. Faith Dominique Wright. Rachel Gia C. Wiley, magna cum laude. Elena Yanka, cum laude. Lillian Young, magna cum laude. Grant Joseph Zach. Abdul Salam Timalma Zakaria, cum laude. Gianna Olivia Zampogna, summa cum laude. Stephen James Zuckery. Kayla Morgan Zuckel, magna cum laude. Grace Catherine Jenkins, cum laude. Amidullah Barigzai.
All right. So now let's take this next step together. I need everybody to, this is a big moment, right? I gotta wait till everybody sits down so that we can do this together. Is everybody feeling good? Yeah. All right, I think we're pretty much set here. So we're going to take this next step together, and I need everybody who just walked across the stage to take your tassel and turn it from the right side to the left to signify a graduate. Woo! All right, so congratulations to our graduates. And our business is nearly concluded, but it would be far from complete without a few words of thanks. So now that you've all just sat down, I would first like to ask the faculty of Augustana College to please stand. Yep. And students, family members, and friends, please join me in recognizing and saluting the outstanding Augustana College faculty. All right, thank you. Now you can sit. There's one other very important group here, and that is the parents and parental figures who provided the support and assistance so that all those honored today could obtain their degrees from Augustana College. So would the parents and parental figures of the class of 2026 please stand to be recognized? I saw a few high fives there. Finally did it, right? So one housekeeping tip: following our recessional, family members and friends will be free to leave via the same doors through which you all entered. There is ample space for families to reconnect with their students just outside the main entrance of the vibrant arena. And now I invite all those who are able to do so to please stand for the benediction, upon the conclusion of which I call to a close this 166th commencement convocation of Augustana College. Please rise as you are able.
Really wish I could do a backflip. Not gonna happen. May you trust where your hearts and minds lead you. May you commit yourself to continued learning. And may you see and respond when the needs of those around you are greater than your own. Through the power of divine resilience, strength, and joy, you are now called into the world. May God bless your voice and presence with power now and always. Amen.